So I had a few questions about how to work with the HTML page in VRED, so I just want to walk through it really, and maybe just add a few bits of colour to different areas. So if we're doing this, it's probably worth turning on web interfaces. Make sure enable web server is turned on, and that these ports are also free and allowed to communicate through the firewall and so on. It's not necessary for all of it, but for some of what I'm going to show it is. So let's just pull up the example scene, because I think it's a good way of showing these things when it's something that's standard. You can take that and then extract it and make it into something else. So we've got the scene up, and I want to do a couple of things. I've got scene plates turned on. So first of all, I'm going to go in and turn scene plate editor on. And if I go in here and say create front plate, that appears straight away. It can be an image, it can be text, or it can be a web. Now I'm going to do a couple of things here because I want to really connect to a few different things. So let's just go into here and say local host colon 1 2 3 4 and hit return. So this brings up the web server app, and the only thing that will work here is the VRED app. Say start, and I've got a scene loaded, so I can go to variants, load. Now that's loaded all the configurations from within the scene file that I've got loaded. So I've got different interiors and so on. So let's just split the screen and just close this for a second. So what's going to happen is that if I go in here, I can change the car paint from this interface. So this could be on another machine. This is just on my local machine, but if instead of localhost you change it to the IP address of the machine that's running VRED, you could use this to drive the software. However, I don't want to do that with this particular configuration. I'm just going to take this part of it, and I'm going to go back into my scene plates, and in this place I'm going to put in the URL. Hit return. Now that changes, and you can see that it's already loaded. It's based on the scale and size that I've got set. So let's make it a little bigger. And let's scale that up. It's absolute. I will not worry about it. It's going to work out in here, but I'm just going to set this up, and we've got different controls obviously for size and scale of these things. So let's just close that window, because now what I can do is I can do the same thing I just did. I can start this app, this page, and go to the variants, and then I can say here load. It's quite tricky to see, but then that has created a page that I can now use to go through my car paints and change this to red. But I'm doing that from within the software as an overlay, and I could, if I want, go into full screen, and that now will stay appeared, and I can start to use it in the software. So this is a default panel that you can use with any scene that will populate based on what's in the scene. Okay, obviously the scaling things I just need to sort out with the options, but I don't want to mess around with those right now. Come out of it, I can still do all my things in here, and I can use it as a way of starting this from a base form. This could be then maybe in the next step where we've gone into the scene and we go into the asset manager, and into my asset manager I've got another tab, scene plates. Now I've only got one scene plate in here, but let me just drag that and drop that in. They're overlaid on top of each other, so I just need to go in and go to my scene plate editor, turn off the front plate that I just created. Now this is a customized image, and it allows me, you can see here that I've got no anti-aliasing on. If I go to medium, you can turn that on in the panel. It means I can have this set within the view. Now what this is just a HTML page that's driving that command back into VRED from through the script. So I can show and hide the view cube, I can show it, I can hide it, I can turn still frame anti-aliasing on and off and so on. And I can use this just like a normal HTML page. There is also a HTML page that will come with 2020.1 once you've installed the asset package as well. that will appear in the asset manager as well. So you've got different variations that you can look at. Hopefully that's been a help.